Hello everyone, it's Teresa Stanley, the Boss Girl on the Go, and it is Fashion Friday, the place to be to style your brand from the inside out. And today I have Christina Louise from Christina Louise Photography, and I've worked with Christina for a few years. She's done several shoots for me, including the shoots for the Womanition magazine. She's the official photographer for that magazine, which is available local here in Alberta, and which it actually profiles women in business and profiles their brands. And so we're just going to talk a little bit today about a photo shoot and what you may need for that, and tips and tricks that she can give you when you're trying to style your brand and put your best face forward. So she'll tell you a little bit about what has come up in photo shoots and just give you a better idea of what to come to your photographer with. Or if you don't have a photographer, you can always contact Christina herself and try to figure that stuff out. Because remember, when you are putting out that brand, you are going to be putting it out to so many people out there, and you want to look and feel amazing about those photos. So can you tell us a little bit about kind of your raison d'etre and what you help do for women's branding?
Yeah, for sure. So with the personal branding, that can include headshots, as well as an entire brand package. So those images are going to be your staple images that you use to portray you, your energy, your sort of essence. And those images are going to be used on social media, on your website. And again, it's like a main, dozen or half a dozen images that are going to be instantly recognizable as you and as your brand when your clients and potential clients see them.
Perfect. And as far as when people come to you for that kind of brand shoot, what are some tips and tricks that you give them to make the brand and the shoot as amazing as possible?
So when talking about clothing specifically, a couple of things I have noticed is that you want to be really wearing clothes that you're really comfortable in. So if you are really self-conscious about your arms, don't show up to the photo shoot with sleeveless tops and dresses, because you're not going to end up liking how they look no matter what. Another thing is definitely, on the note of wearing clothes that are comfortable for you, make sure the clothes are flattering as well. Like, showing that you actually have a waist is super important. There's always an exception to that rule, but I find those loosey-goosey kind of tops are just going to add volume to your waist, and generally women don't want to look wider in their waist.
No, we want to kind of tailor that in.
Yeah,
right?
So you got to show that, that A-line look is always usually flattering on everyone.
What do you think as far as branding different industries? So from a corporate lawyer to somebody who does yoga, what would you give for tips and tricks on that?
I would say, again, dress for your profession, right? A yoga instructor probably isn't going to be out in a full suit, because that's not really appropriate for their profession. Whereas a lawyer, right, you're going to want to, it's much more upscale, much more business focused. So you want to be, remain true to you and true to your brand, but also profession appropriate.
Right. It totally makes sense. I think we did that a couple weeks ago, if you want to flip back on Fashion Friday, with Lori Sato, who's a Reiki master, and she has to kind of combine that. So bringing that into your photo shoot and being consistent is probably one of the biggest things. As far as hair and makeup and all that kind of stuff, what do you suggest for women coming into a branding shoot for that?
Right. So if you look at women in magazines, they don't come just with their clothing and then they throw on some makeup. They have a whole team that works with them. They have somebody who dresses them. So get a stylist. It is so important. They have hair and makeup people. These people are professionals. They know what they're doing. This is what's going to just elevate your brand and take it to the next level. And it's so important because you're investing so much money in your branding, whether or not it be logo, your website, all that kind of stuff. And then it will just fall flat if you don't invest in sort of everything, right? Take that to the next level.
Absolutely. When people are on the cover of, Forbes magazine, that picture is going to follow them for the rest of their life. And so making sure that you felt good and you're awesome with that picture, that's great. It's important for your brand. And I know when Christina did the picture that I had for Womanition last year, and the intro of Fashion Friday has that picture in the white dress and the hair fine. is still one of my favorite pictures ever that I've had from for branding, because it came out perfect. We were able to work in the shoot, and Christina, being really talented with the camera, was able to capture it and tell me a little bit about how to stand and where my hands need to go and everything to make it look really good. Is there any things that you should avoid as far as pictures out there, say on social media, or that you're submitting to newspaper, or for advertising and branding purposes, like some no-nos as far as branding goes, on your expertise in the branding world?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is don't have a selfie out there as your headshot. It's super unprofessional. Like, one of the things I often say is, if you don't invest in yourself and show that you're investing in yourself, how can you expect others to invest in you? So selfies are, they're a huge no-no. Like, if you want to get paid, money to actually live off of, don't have a selfie. Like, it's not too much to just invest a little bit of time and money into getting a professional headshot even. It's a nice place to start, so.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's also part of like the consistency that we've talked about is, I would say even like the colors that I know when I've seen Christina's work in a few websites that she's done, and she's done branding packages for, you can see the colors go from, they're the same, and then they are, all the way through, and you can recognize them.
Yeah, it's cohesive, right? So you want to make sure all of the images, all of your outfits, like the whole look, you want to make sure that it's all from the same voice, right? It's the same person, it's the same brand. Whether or not that means, it means like you don't have to always be wearing a business outfit or something, right? You might have a little bit more of a casual outfit, like jeans and some pumps for some of your images, but it's all the same person. It's the same, consistency is something I could talk about for forever, but consistency is super, super important, for sure.
I think that's part of branding, though, is consistency. Mm-hmm. Like, Coca-Cola will always have, everything. You can recognize Coca-Cola, you can recognize Nike, you can recognize Lululemon, and those guys are masters at what they do, and there's no reason that you can't also, as a small businesswoman, or, self-employed entrepreneur, that you can have the same thing, and working with a professional like Christina and setting yourself up with other professionals in makeup and hair and styling, you can have that same effect. So
it's like that instantly recognizable kind of effect, like an Apple product and Apple commercials and TELUS, like they've done. I mean, I know they're big companies, but they are instantly recognizable. So you can do that too, even if you're but even if you are a small business owner, or you're starting out, or if you already run an empire, it's good to have those instantly recognizable images, for sure.
Awesome. Do you have any other tips and tricks for women in business that are trying to brand and style themselves?
I would say relax and have fun with it. Definitely invest in yourself. Like we said, the whole team package is a really good idea. But also, when you approach a branding session, when you get there, you've done all that planning, definitely plan in advance. Just relax when you arrive. I've had a lot of clients feel like there's a lot of pressure on them to sort of perform in a way, and to be a model. It's like, no, just be yourself. Like, it's up to me to make sure that the images come out great, and I will direct you. But it's good to just go in that with a little bit of confidence with what you're wearing and how you look, because your team has helped you do that.
Absolutely. And you know what? When I've worked with Christina in the past, she just kind of puts you where she needs you, and it works. It's amazing, and so it always ends up looking really, really good. And actually, one of my tips as far as styling and branding and going as like the model going into the photo shoot is being really honest with not only your stylist, your makeup person, your hair, and the photographer, and being like, hey, for myself, I don't like my arms, or I don't like my waist, or my maybe I'm really ample here and I don't I feel like it's too big. You got to be really honest with them so that they can help you accentuate the best parts of yourself and make you feel really, really good. So be honest with them, get that team, and be consistent. So thank you very much for being on the show today, Christina.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
And we will see you guys next week on Fashion Friday. Remember to get your tickets for the Staying Sexy is Mandatory event on August 26th. I'm super excited for that. Other than that, have a great day and tune in next week.
Thanks.